So I challenge you, if you are a carnivore, figure out where you're going to stand in the gap, figure out where you're going to take your leadership. Is it just going to be supporting others proactively in a Facebook group or Instagram? Then make sure you're there for them. Make sure you're logging in on a regular basis. Make sure you're answering questions. Is it just setting the example? Then fine, be the best example you can be.
Work, work, to go and earn my pay. Work, work, boots on and lace them up.
All right. Carnivore Soldier coming at you from Austin, Texas. It's another wonderful morning in Texas here. Beautiful sunny day. Just got back from the gym, had a fantastic workout. Life is good. I have a stoic outlook on life sometimes, where you just got to take each day as it comes. And some days are great, some aren't. But every day is a gift and an opportunity and a blessing. So I just go forward with what I got. And today just turns out to be a great day. I got a busy day at work scheduled. So I just took a little time out to do a video because something's been, again, on my heart. And you guys know I like to just talk about stuff. I don't script things. I don't plan out videos typically. I think about it and I mull on it a little bit and then I talk about it. So this is just one that I've touched on before, but I want to expand on. And it's what I like to call, it's the obligation of carnivore. And I know it sounds weird, but there is an obligation to being a carnivore. I'm trained with a firearm, and in Texas, I carry a concealed weapon typically. And I think if you're trained and proficient, there's an obligation to carry a firearm if you're able to, just because if someone goes crazy, you need to be able to stop the action of the bad actor, right? So that's the way I feel. I feel like I'm a sheepdog sometimes, where, I've never had to pull my gun out. I've never had to shoot it. And I hope I never do, but I'm always ready. And it's because I have the training, the knowledge, and the proficiency. And I think similar to that, once you've experienced the carnivore diet and the healing, or a keto diet like this, and you experience all the truth in your life, the truth bomb, right? The red pill, you get red pilled and you realize what's real and what's not for the first time in your life. I think there's an obligation that goes with that. And not everyone's going to make a YouTube channel. That's not a problem. But there's different ways you can fulfill that obligation as a carnivore, I believe. And there's a lot of different ways, right? There's different levels of support. And the very basic support is the first thing I think you need to do is take care of yourself, right? Delve in, get education, learn how this thing works. That's your first obligation. Become a carnivore, figure out why it's working. Don't just, oh, well, Dr. Barry said it works, so I'm just going to do it and it works. But actually figure out why it's working, why what we were taught was wrong. And this is the baseline, I think, is just working on yourself. It's kind of like being on an airplane and having a loss of cabin pressure. You put your mask on first, then you deal with your kids or your neighbors or your friends. If you were a complete a-hole, you'd put your mask on and just sit back and enjoy the ride and let everyone die around you, right? Because, hey, you're taken care of. So it's kind of like the same thing. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy or that gal that just takes care of themselves and just lets everyone else fend for themselves. So the second level, I think, so that's the first level, is just becoming a carnivore, honing your craft, learning your body, and finding out what being a carnivore really means and why everything you knew in the past was wrong, and become familiar with the history, become familiar with the biochemistry behind it. Like, why is this working? Why did I not know this? So learn all that stuff, because people will ask. The second level, I would say, would be a support team member. So this is where you join a community and you support other people in their quest. You support them with answers to Q&A, support them with supporting messages when they're struggling or they have questions. You're there, you're a team member, you're supporting them. And this is similar to what I experienced in the military, where when you're on watch, you are watching over everyone who is not on watch. So the only reason I was able to sleep well at night when I was in the military in hostile environments was because I knew my brothers or sisters were watching my back. They were on watch. They had the watch. They were there to support, right? That was why we could function as a military unit. And I think we need to be there, because not everyone's going to be strong all the time. In fact, even people that appear strong sometimes falter, and you need to be there to pick them up, to help them pick up the slack, at least be there to offer a helping hand if they do stumble or fall. So that's like the next basic level, is Okay, now you've taken care of yourself. You put your oxygen mask on. Now you're going to help the person next to you with their oxygen mask. And now, if they don't want to put oxygen mask on, you don't force them with an oxygen mask, right? If they're not looking to be a carnivore, don't like argue with people and force people. That's not part of this. This is helping people who are willing and want to embrace this lifestyle or explore it. And that's what this is. So that's being a support member. The next level, I would be a little more proactive, and that would be supporting content creators out there, watching these YouTube videos, sharing the YouTube videos. And that can be like, that's like a mix, because now you're being a little more proactive. You're not just reacting to people's questions. You're not just being there for them when they have, you're actually sending the message. You're identifying good messages from good content creators. And then you are sharing those messages in social media, and you're also maybe leaving messages for the content creators and saying, hey, this is great stuff. We appreciate you, appreciate your messaging. That means a lot to us that are content creators, because we don't really get paid for this. This is not a paying gig. Even though you're monetized, it's not paying, trust me. So the next level would be actually sharing the message, finding and identifying good messages. And that's good for you too, because when you're going through this lifestyle, you're going to have challenges. You're going to be challenged. You're going to question things. You're going to lose motivation. When you do, this is watching YouTube channels and sharing YouTube channels helps maintain that motivation level, helps grow your education level. And again, you're there for other people. And the other thing is, you'll build up a lexicon, a library of videos that you can share. So when someone says, hey, I only have one kidney, can I do carnivore? You can say, you know what? I saw a video on that. Even though I have two kidneys, I actually took time to watch a video on that because I knew someone would ask that. Same with whatever they have, no gallbladder, right? I have a gallbladder, but I watch videos on that just so that I know, hey, it's okay. These doctors say it's okay to do that. Or this person actually has no gallbladder and has done it. So I can share their video. Also, you'll find that you'll watch videos. I watch videos for single mothers. I'm not a single mother, but guess what? There's a lot of single mothers out there that may ask, and I would be able to share a video from a single mother because Nia's way, or some of these other people. I can say, listen, this is a video you might actually connect with. So that's the next level of support, right? Is the next level up. And this is the obligation, I think, because once you actually do put your air mask on, your oxygen mask on, once you do put that oxygen mask on, I believe we do have an obligation to help people around us. And you don't have to be super proactive, but you should at least be there as a support member. You should at least be there supporting people. Now, you're going to have to, and building your education of what it means to be a carnivore. If someone asks you why you're a carnivore, I don't think it's a good answer. Just say, well, Dr. Barry says it's good to do, so I do it. I think you really need to know more than that. You need to dig in. That's part of the obligation. You need to actually know why you're a carnivore and why it works, because people are going to ask questions. And even if you didn't do any of that stuff, let's say you didn't support any team members, you didn't join a group, you are still being a carnivore in public, and you are an example. Regardless if you want to be one, you don't have to say I'm a role model. You're just one, because people are going to know you're on a carnivore diet based on what they see you eat. They're going to see how you behave. They're going to see how your body reacts, and they're going to watch. People watch. Trust me. Paul had a saying about this. If you're a Christian, in the book of Acts, I believe, when he talked about eating meat offered at an altar. And basically, he said, listen, we know that as Christians, that eating a meat at an altar of a God that doesn't exist is no big deal. But the big deal is that people are watching you, and they may be confused because they may think these Christians act just like everyone else. So they're just like everyone else. And that's a true statement. So if you're going to be a carnivore and you're going to go down this carnivore diet route, and people are going to watch you, then they're going to watch how you behave, how your body reacts, and they're going to assume all carnivores are like that. That's just what they're going to do. So even at the baseline of just starting this way of eating, you are setting an example, whether you like to or not. You can say, well, I'm not a role model, but you are. Sorry, because you're a carnivore. Once they find out you're a carnivore, you are a role model, and you're part of this community. Just like when I used to put on the uniform in public, I was representing the United States Army at that point, not just me, because I was in uniform in public. I don't get to choose. I don't say, well, this is just me, don't do this, But if I'm in uniform, when someone sees me, I am the United States Army at that point. And that's one of the reasons when people would thank me for my service, At first I didn't like that, but then I realized that, hey, they may be thanking me for their cousin that's overseas, or their son that they lost, or their husband that's gone. So I'm going to represent the Army when I gracefully accept their thanks for service and thank them for their support. And that's the way it is. So you have to realize that once you're identified as a carnivore by others, you are setting an example. So that's really the lowest level, right? You're not going to join a community. You're not going to help someone with their air mask. You're not going to educate yourself, but you are setting an example. So that's really the lowest level. Then I think the level up beyond that would be actually becoming a community creator, a content creator, or becoming a content creator, or actually, you don't even have to become a content creator for the next one up. I would say it would be more like being more proactive in Facebook groups, proactive, maybe being a guest on content creators' channels. There's several people that don't have channels, but do like Instagram and YouTube or Instagram and Facebook and those kinds of things, X, and they actually do interviews and show up on live streams. So there's a lot of people that don't want to do YouTube channel, or they have limitations technologically or time wise, but they support us doing videos with us. So that's a great way to do it. And then the top tier would be actually people that are actually going to start a YouTube channel, build a community, and support that community. And that's a lot of work and responsibility, but that's the way leaders roll, right? We just start doing stuff because we know we have the skill and capability, and we recognize that there's a need. So we fill the gap. We stand in the gap. We really support these content creators. Go out, proactively promote their channels, proactively promote their videos. When you see a video pop up, jump on that video the first hour, because that golden hour is what the YouTube algorithm uses to determine how it's going to treat that video. So if I have 5,000 subscribers and my video hits the first hour and only 20 people look at it, YouTube's going to assume it's a bad video. If 500 to 1,000 people look at it in the first hour, then YouTube will say, well, okay, his own subscribers are interested in this, so we should probably push this forward. So this is really important. You need to get in the fight. And getting in the fight, like I said, the first step is just becoming a carnivore, learning about it, and then moving on up the ladder to where you're at a position where you're comfortable. Maybe later you'll do something like a YouTube channel, or make a Facebook group, and or do some more Instagram stuff. And there's a lot of leaders that do different things different ways based on their time and their ability. But there is an obligation. And the obligation is, once you have the knowledge of how to heal, then you kind of have an obligation to share that with, at least with loved ones, friends, and family, and coworkers that are interested. Now, and when I talk about sharing, I'm not talking about forcing things down people's throats. But what I am talking about is letting people know what you're doing, and then setting the example. That's the first baseline, and see if any of them ask. And some will ask, hey, what are you doing, man? You look completely different. You're a different person. Just like Dante Ferragno, when I saw his first video, his first day of doing Lion Diet, he was such a different person than the videos I saw after. Everything from the way he carried himself, his gait, his cadence when he talked, everything changed. His personality, his optimism, it's such a drastic difference. But you can look at Kerry at Homestead How, he's had the exact same thing. And he actually had videos from before too, because he had a channel before he went carnivore. So that's another channel you can look at to see how the person changes. It's not just weight loss, right? It's not just even healing. It's complete change. It's a new life. And anyway, so those are guys I'm thankful for, because they've actually documented this. Dante Ferragno at Ferragno Freedom, check his channel out. And Carrie at Homestead How, doing the Healing Humanity, which is why I have this up in the corner here. I'm supporting that video project, and this is life-changing stuff, and we do have an obligation. The obligation of carnivore is real. So I challenge you, if you are a carnivore, figure out where you're going to stand in the gap. Figure out where you're going to take your leadership. Is it just going to be supporting others proactively in a Facebook group or Instagram? Then make sure you're there for them. Make sure you're logging in on a regular basis. Make sure you're answering questions. Is it just setting the example? Then fine, be the best example you can be. But definitely keep working on that education. That's part of it too. And promote and help these content creators who are trying to get this message out. When you find good content, like I found Carnivore Teacher, 1965, his channel is now, and he's got some great stuff. I promote that stuff out, man. I want to share those videos. I want to turn people on to him, because some people are going to really connect with him. John Laspina, I think his name is. And some people will connect with me. And I'm not going to connect with everyone. I guarantee you. I am definitely not everyone's cup of tea. Definitely. There's people that hate me. That's okay. Or just don't connect with me at all. That's okay too. That's fine. I don't care. I'm just here for the people who do connect with me. So if you're that person, great. Thank you. Thanks for your support. If you like my channel and my content, please like and subscribe my videos. And that's basically all I got today. It's just a quick talk about the obligation of carnivore. I know it sounds weird, but like I said, if you are skilled and you are capable, and you should be in the gap, you should be helping your neighbors put their oxygen mask on. And like I said, don't force that oxygen mask on them, but if they're there and they're willing, help them out. Give them some help. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. All I got to say is stay strong and overcome. Carnivore Soldier out.